Jim, there were a lot of penalties on the offensive line this past game. What do you think those penalties were caused from?
Well, I think a lot of it, they stem and jump around their D-line. We worked on it a lot that week, but didn't get it done. We had several penalties and several that weren't called, and it was a point of emphasis going in, and we didn't handle it very well. It was all the stemming up front, and hopefully we'll get that better.
Vanderbilt's defense, they lost a lot of their top guys from last year, and they don't have many takeaways, but you look at their rankings, and they're really high up there. What is it that makes them so effective?
Well, I think they're similar to a lot of the defenses we played already. They play hard. They've got good scheme. They're well coached, and they're never out of position. They're a smart team, and they're opportunistic. And it seems like they play on a lot of long fields. I mean, that's a good thing, too, for them. So they're good. They're a solid team, just like all the other teams we've been playing.
Jim, you've always been complimentary of them defensively. You seem to really like the way that they play schematically, that they just don't put themselves in bad spots. Is that what you like?
You bet. I think they're a team that lines up in a sound front, a sound coverage, and their coaches put their kids in a great position to be successful, and they do that. And they understand who they are and their identity as far as schematically, and they do a nice job with it. So, yeah, I've always been impressed with how Vanderbilt plays defense, and I am today. Again, I know they lost some kids from last year's team, but you haven't noticed that very much. They play hard, and they're a very good team.
Jim, when you went into the game Saturday and you looked statistically, you had just miles of yards that you put up. Did you have concern that you left some points out there that you should have had?
I think as a coordinator, you've been in these games before where you move the ball down the field, but you don't score points, and you always wonder if that's going to come back to get you. And it did. We went flat in the second half, couldn't get a lot of things going, and couldn't generate enough points to win the ball game. So, sure, I was concerned when we went in with the amount of yardage. I don't know really what it was, but I felt comfortable moving up and down the field. But we weren't generating points, and that's our ultimate job. So, yeah, I wasn't comfortable where we were at.
Jim, do you feel like Tyler's playing maybe the best football of his career?
Yeah, I think he's playing as good as he has since I would say that's accurate. He's playing good football right now.
You continue to see his demeanor kind of the same in practice?
I have. The last month he's been pretty solid. He's been preparing correctly, and he's been playing good ball.
Jim, when you talk about preparing correctly, what more than just on the practice field, has he been doing anything extra in the meeting rooms or going?
Well, I think Tyler watches a lot of video. He spends a lot of time studying his opponent, and he's getting more professional in regard to that. And I think that's a good thing. You can't. It's hard to go out there and be ready to play if you haven't watched a lot of video.
Has that changed over the course of the season? Has he been doing it more recently, or has he always been like that?
I think he's always liked to watch, but now I think he's a little more conscious of what he's watching. You know, kids, when they're young, they'll turn on the tape to watch it, but they're really not sure what they're looking at. I think Tyler has a pretty good understanding of the day, what he needs to study.
When did you see that kind of start to click for him?
It seems his performance mentally has been playing better the last month. I can't recall the game, but he didn't play very well at the end, and we were unable to get the victory. And I think since that point on, he's been pretty solid.
Jim, what was your?
Turned it over, I think 5 times in the red zone the last 4 weeks or something like that. I'm sure that's maddening. Is that just bad turnovers on that part of the field, or are you guys doing something? Players doing something different in the red zone, too much extending the ball, extra effort type deal, anything like that?
No, I couldn't put my finger on any of that. It just seems like it's just happening to us. We just need to continue to work on the fundamentals of the game. When you're running the ball, secure it. When you're throwing it, make sure you get it to our guys. That's it. It's typical play. It's just football.
What was the chatter like that last 40 seconds before you guys went into overtime, last 40 seconds of the game? What were you and Coach Dooley discussing on how to handle the end of that game?
Well, Coach tells us what we're going to do, and we go do it. That's the way it goes. We're going to go out and see if we can get something generated. If we made a few plays, we'd open it up. If we didn't, we were comfortable where we were at.
You mentioned you guys went flat in the second half. Did they do anything dramatically different, schematically?
I think they brought more blitzes in the run game on normal down and distances. We had some long fields. We weren't generating a lot of explosive runs, which equates to no points, as we've talked about many times. And they did a nice job of shutting down some of the run game with all their blitz package. We didn't do a nice job of handling that.
Jim, several of the players on Monday talked about how emotional that team meeting was. Can you just give me your comments on the team meeting and how the players have responded to what Coach Dooley told them?
Well, I think our kids have responded like they always have. They went out and they've been preparing very well. That'd be my only comment on that. Our kids have been out and practiced well all year long.
Also, several players yesterday said that it is distracting when you are hearing all these coaching rumors and making changes and things like that. Obviously, you're a veteran. You've been in the business a long time. Does it ever get distracting for the staff?
I think as a staff, we're paid to go put a game plan together, and that's where all our time is spent.
Anybody else?